Somebody told me a story recently about a woman, and I used to know her. She was maybe one of the first people that I actually met when I was, you know, here in the Middle East. But she she was as I know her, she was a religious woman, and she used to study. She used to take lessons about religion, and she was wearing the hijab and the jilbab. And as her sister told me, she was quite strict about wearing the hijab and the jilbab. But when she traveled to France, her sister told me recently that she left her hijab. She removed it, and she started to say that Arab people don't understand the body of women. So it seems that maybe, I don't know if she didn't understand the meaning of hijab. But also the problem is that sometimes when Muslims from Muslim countries travel to Western countries and they go there, they can't deal with the culture. Maybe they think they can go and travel and influence people to learn about Islam, but some people, maybe they haven't fully understood the reasons for certain things, and they themselves get influenced. At the same time, my friend also told me about her brother who traveled to Germany. She told me that he was 27, and she told me firstly that he was getting married to a woman there who was German. But then later I found out that actually he was not married to her. He was just living with her. So again, people, they're in a hurry to go from a Muslim country to a non-Muslim country, and they get influenced by this culture, and it affects them. And this is what I wanted to mention, that if someone wants to, the whole world is very wide. There are many countries in the world, and there's no particular country that's forbidden to travel to or to live in even. There's no particular place in the very beginning that you can't go there or you can't do something there. I mean, Allah has told us in the Quran to visit places to see what happened to the people who, Thamud, were Ad, and the people who came before, to visit these places and see what happened to people. So traveling is actually good sometimes, and maybe Allah mentions sometimes as well about people who travel to gain work or wealth or something. And people sometimes they travel for various reasons, because they're in a danger in their country, or for religious reasons. We have hijrah. So there's various reasons people travel. But if people are traveling, we have to think about, okay, why? And secondly, we have to remember that the most important thing for a Muslim, any Muslim in any place, is their religion. And there are different types of hijrah, immigration. There is, there's a hadith that tells us that there's no hijrah by the the hijrah of that we know in the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But there is intention and sunnah. So there's no obligatory hijrah. So for example, if someone is in any country, it's not obligatory to go to a specific Muslim country, for example. It's not encumbrant, but at the same time, if someone is in a country where they find it difficult to practice their religion, for example, they find it hard, the law there is not allowing someone to pray, and it's not or they can't, they find it difficult to wear the hijab, or they feel unsafe, or Muslims are being attacked. In this case, it's actually sunnah, it's actually recommended to go to a place where you will not have your religion attacked. You'll not be attacked, for example, if you go to the mosque, and you can pray and so forth. And it's not just about traveling. Sometimes it's just a simple thing, for example, leaving your job and going for another job, or moving out of the area to another area, because maybe in one country there's some areas that are not okay, but maybe in another area it's okay. The main thing is that someone keeps their religion safe. They're able to pray, they're able to fast, they're able to practice Islam. If someone is not able to, it's recommended to go to where they can. But if someone is in a place, for example, they're in a Muslim country where people are praying and they're fasting and they're doing Islamic things, and they find it very easy there. They pray all their prayers and they fast Ramadan, and they go to the mosques, maybe they learn the Quran. In this case, if they're going to travel, for example, to a country that's not Muslim, there are various rules and issues with that, because is someone able, what are they going to travel for, and are they able to continue with this in another country? And it's not just about the law, because maybe there's many laws that allow that, but people can be affected from the society. So, as I mentioned about these people in the beginning, some people cannot handle that. Maybe they think that they can, but they'll go and be influenced by people and forget about prayers and fasting, and they forget about their religion and their belief, and they enter into things that they would never have entered into if they'd stayed where they were. For this reason, it's not recommended, unless there's a good reason, to go from the place where you're practicing your religion well to somewhere where you might not be. Unless it's temporary or for a good reason. For example, someone is going to tell people about Islam because they don't know about Islam and they need people to tell them. Or maybe they need to go for some reason. They have work or study or something. They have something to do there. But if people are going to go from one place to another and they're going to be affected in their religion, we have 5 things, asas according to Sharia, that we have to protect. The first is our religion, and the second is ourselves. Are we in danger? Are we in a country or a place where our lives could be in danger? So that is a reason. And we have to protect our wealth, we have to protect our mind and brain and intellect, and we have to protect our heritage. It means, for example, not having relationships outside marriage, because then you will have children that wouldn't necessarily know from where. You don't know their lineage. So we have to protect the lineage of people as well. So these are the various issues about immigration and travel. Sometimes traveling can be sunnah, it can be recommended, but it can also be not allowed. When for example, that you're going to go to a place and you maybe cannot handle it, maybe you will be influenced by the culture and so forth. So these things that people have to, we have to keep in our mind if we think about traveling somewhere.